Hi there. Welcome back. Happy Friday. By the time you see this, you hopefully will have watched my other video, if I can get it uploaded in time. This is now Unit 2, and this is all about companies. And it's saying corporations are not things, they are the people who run them. And this was written by a man called Charles Handy, who is a management guru. Okay, so we're going to learn some vocabulary about describing companies. We're going to listen to what makes a company successful. And we're going to read about 2 different organizations. And then for the grammar, we're going to look at present simple and present continuous tense. And I need to change to this. Right. We're going to learn about present and simple and continuous tense, presenting your company, and then we're going to look at a case study. So let's get a move on. Now, which of these companies do you or would you like to work for? A family-owned company. So this is like a family, like a husband and a wife own the business. It's a small company, usually reasonably small. Can be bigger though, depending how successful they are. Or would you like to work for a multinational company? A company that has its headquarters in one country but has operations in many other countries. For example, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has offices in every country in the world. Comes originally from America, but now it's everywhere. Is that the kind of company you would like to work for? Or would you like to be what they call self-employed? Self-employed means you are your own boss, you have your own company, you answer to only yourself and the tax department. Now, can you name a company in each of these business sectors? And is there one that you would like to work for? You might need to Google these terms. Telecommunications or media. I guess that's like RTI. Engineering, do you know any engineering companies? Pharmaceuticals or chemicals? Construction, banking and finance, transport, manufacturing, IT, electronics, food and drink, retail, any service industry, tourism. Try to think of at least one company in each of these sectors, because these are important sectors. And then think about which of these sectors would you most like to work in? Okay, so describing companies. Complete the chart on the next page with information in the box below. Then write sentences about the companies. Pardon me. So we've got American Express, Japanese, Korean, Nokia, container ship operator, oil and gas, fashion and retail, pharmaceuticals, Toyota, Finnish. Now, this is where you can do a little bit of research in Google. When you're applying for a job, you have to research the company, and you're always going to go online to find out what information you can find online about the company you're thinking about going to work for. So for example, the first one is done for you. We have Cisco Systems. It's an internet equipment supplier, and it's American. Now, Inditex, we know it's a Spanish company, but what sector is it in? Why don't you Google it and find out? Roche is a Swiss company. Who do they work for? What sector are they in? Samsung, we've heard the name, right? Electronics. What country does it come from? Hapag-Lloyd, it's German. What are they involved in? Petrobras, it's Brazilian. What are they in? And then we have a mysterious telecommunications company. And we have a travel and finance service provider, it's an American. So let's see if you can complete that table. So, head office, That's the main company office. Market share is, if your company is selling fish, how many people buy your fish? How many people are buying fish? What's the total number of fish that's getting sold? And what percentage of those fish are your fish? Subsidiary is like when a big company owns another smaller company. Net profit, after all your expenses, after you pay all your bills and you pay your salary and you buy all the materials and you've paid everyone that you owe money to, how much money is left? That's your net profit. Now, parent company. If you're a subsidiary, then you have a mummy company, right? For example, Toyota. They own Daihatsu. Maybe you don't know that. Toyota is the parent company, and Daihatsu are the subsidiary company. Then you take those words and you put them into these sentences 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Write out the sentences and then write in the word in your notebook so that you know to study it later. Writing down is useful. It helps memory. Okay, so we got all these words from exercise B. Now we're going to use these words also in this paragraph here. So please write down the words. And then you have a tape script. CD 1, track 17. Listen to the CEO reading the company report and check your answers. So we can find that just by jumping over. Let's do 1, 5, 7. All right, so let's find the CEO report 117. Okay, so here's. I'm pleased to say the parent company has continued its excellent performance. We're changing, growing, and doing well at a difficult time for the industry. Turnover was 57.2 million euros, an increase of 15% on last year, and net profit rose by 5% to 6.4 million euros. We are a highly competitive business. We've increased our market share to 20%. So for every 100 things that are being sold, 20 things belong to that company. Consequently, our share price has risen, and now at an all-time high of 9.6 euros per share. Increased production and strong demand have had a positive effect on our cash flow, so we're able to finance a number of new projects. We have successfully moved to our new head office in central London, and we are now planning to start full production at the recently opened Spanish subsidiary in October. Finally, thanks once again to our loyal and dedicated workforce. Our employees will always be our most valuable asset. Okay, that's the CD track that came from. Going back to page 10. Page 11. 12. Okay. We don't need to do E yet because this is not really connected to you yet. I don't think many of you are actually working at the moment. Okay, so CD 118, listen to the first part of an interview with Susan Barrett, the Chief Executive Officer of Nature's Ways Foods, and correct the 6 mistakes in this paragraph. Okay, so in this paragraph here, there are 6 mistakes. Jump down to the audio tape script, look at the text there, and then correct the missing words, correct the incorrect words. Listen to the second part where Susan talks about the reasons for the company's success, and complete these notes with one word in each gap. Health. Sorry, first reason for success. Let's jump back down now. Was it 1, 6? Oh. Okay, so interview with Susan Barrett. I'll just read out both tracks for you. So track 18, can you tell us about your company? Nature Ways Foods is a food manufacturing company based on the south coast of England. We put chilled product, the majority of which is lettuce and fruit, into various types of packaging for the major retailers and various food service companies in the UK. Examples of retailers would be Tesco's, Morrison's and Waitrose. And in terms of food service companies, our biggest customer is McDonald's, which I'm sure most of you will be familiar with. That was for the previous exercise. Now for the exercise that I just discussed. What are the reasons for the company's success? There are various reasons for the company's success. I think one of the major ones is the markets in which we operate. There are some what we call big marketing themes, which are health, convenience, sustainability and indulgence. We think the products we produce in both leaf and fruit fit a lot of those themes. So majority of the UK population have a desire to eat healthy products. They tend to be what we call time poor, i.e. they haven't got much time in their lives for creating great food, so they want to be able to buy a convenient product of good, healthy food. There was also a theme for sustainability, so people want to feel like they are contributing towards a sustainable world, and a lot of our product has a fairly low level of what we call food miles, and therefore is fairly sustainable. Some of our product also have a fairly indulgent feel. So the UK population has a habit of wanting to be indulgent at certain times. So they might diet on a Monday to Friday, but when it gets to Friday night, they'll have several pieces of cake and maybe a few drinks. They'll indulge themselves. I think the other reason for our success is the way we run our business. We are a high volume business, so we're producing hundreds of millions of units. So we need to be very efficient in the way we produce them. So we've invested heavily as a business in systems and processes to make sure we are very efficient in the manner in which we produce the products for our customers. Give me a moment. Okay, so that was that last tape script was for B, and that was track 19. Now we're going to jump down to track 20 and 21 to answer these two questions. Now, again, read the question, listen to what I've said, and then write down what you think the answer is. So, what two things have Susan enjoyed the most when running a company, and what does she not enjoy about running a company? And then in exercise B, we're going to listen to the final part and complete. So there's some missing words. So I'm going to read them both back to back. That's page 16. And can I remember where we're going? Maybe. Okay, that was 19, 20. Okay. When running a company, what have you enjoyed most and least? And she says, I think most is achieving what you set out to achieve. So when you're running a company, one of your key objectives or key roles is to set the strategy for the company and then make sure the building blocks are in place to achieve that strategy. And that I find very satisfying, to set a clear goal for the business and then watch the business and help the business go and achieve the goal. I think the other thing which I find very satisfying is creating a team ethic and watching the people grow and watching people develop and work towards the goals that you set as a business and work as a team and get enjoyment out of that and develop as people and as business people within the organization. And least, I think least is probably the relentlessness of the role as a chief executive. You're never actually off duty. And a business like ours, which is food manufacturing company, it's running 364 days a year. So there's always something to be responsible for and something that's happening within your organization. So I think that can get quite tiring. And also the other thing that sometimes can be wearing is it's quite a lonely life, you know. You have to make decisions. Sometimes you can't talk to other people about them, and they have to be your decisions. So this is the next one, right? What lessons have you learned from the companies you've worked for? I've learned a lot of lessons from the companies I've worked for. I think the key thing is that you have to make sure your people in the organization are engaged with the organization and have a clear understanding of what that organization is trying to achieve. If you can get that clarity of direction and enthusiasm from the people within the organization, then that will help move the business forward. Okay. And that is to answer these two questions here. Now, what I would like you to do is to have a good think about this. Would you like to run your own company? And a lot of people are just going to say yes or no. But I want you to think about why. Why would you like to run your own company? What would it give you that working for another person would not? And if you don't want to run your own company, tell us why not. We're going to discuss that in our WhatsApp group during class time. Now, we have a discussion also. The topic is companies should be owned by their employees. This is a Marxist theory. Discuss. So I want you to look at that and think about, do you agree with this? Or if you don't, why not? Okay, I'm not going to worry about two different organizations. I would like you to read this, but we don't need to do any work with it. You can just read it, pick out difficult words, put them into Google Translate, write down any difficult vocabulary, and if there's anything you're still confused about, you can let me know. So the two companies are India's Tata and John Lewis. John Lewis is a major shop in the UK. Okay, now, present simple and present continuous tense. I've given you links in the Google Classroom for present simple and present continuous when we were doing the placement test. Present simple is not simple. Present simple is perhaps the most complicated of all English tenses. There are 16, and I believe present simple is extremely complicated. It's called present simple, but it should not be called present simple. It should be called present horribly complicated. All right, so what does present simple do? What is its function? Always think about the function before you think about the shape. So let's talk about things that are always true. The sun is a thing, right? The sun rises in the east or in the west. The sun sets in the east or in the west. Which one is it? Do you know? Never one day does the sun rise in the north. Never once does the sun set in the south. So something that is always true, we can use present simple for. For things that are a routine. What does a routine mean? Something you do regularly. Could be every day, every evening, every Saturday, every month. Like I pay my electricity bill every month. I pay. Habits. What is your habit? Like in the morning, I always have a cup of coffee. No one tells me to do that. It's just something that I do. Sometimes I don't even feel like having a coffee, but I just do it because that's my habit. Now, what's the difference between a habit and a hobby? What's the difference between a routine and a hobby? Well, a hobby is something you do regularly, every day, every night, every Saturday, every Wednesday, every week, every month, every year even. And a hobby is something that you enjoy doing. Like every day my son, he does his homework. Believe me, he does not enjoy that. But he does it every day. But every day my son plays with his handphone. And believe me, he really enjoys that. And that's the difference between a habit and a hobby. Just before I go too far, give me a moment. I'm going to pause this to make sure that everything is going smoothly with the video. Okay, so far so good. We've talked about present simple tense. What is it for? It's for routines, habits, hobbies, things that are always true. It is not to talk about something happening right now. For example, I have a shower every evening when I go home. It's the first thing I do. If you look at me now, I am not in the shower right now. Thank God for that. So, present simple is not to talk about something happening now. Also, when we're talking about facts, for example, Toyota produces cars. Hot water burns, right? Eating chocolate makes you fat if you eat enough of it. Now, what about present continuous tense? Present continuous tense, let's go back to present simple. How do we write present simple? It's easy. Subject, verb. For I, you, we, and they. I eat fish. She eats fish. Should be like that. S. Right. Now, when you are using he or she or it, then you have to add s to the verb. If the verb has a special ending, example, ch, sh, ss, x, then you would not add s, you would add es. For questions, we use the verb do. Do you eat fish? Now, why do we say does she eat fish? Why do we not say, do she eats fish? And the reason is, do steals the S. But because do ends in O, like go, do, we add ES. So we have, if a verb ends in O, ends in SS, ends in SH, or ends in CH, like watch, she watches TV every night, then that's how we write it. We do not use the verb be. I am watch. I am Luke. Hello, Luke. I am David. We don't use the verb be, so it's just subject, verb. Sometimes we add S or ES if we're using he, she, or it. Present continuous is much, 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 much easier. Present continuous tense is formed, subject, and then the verb be is am, are, and then a verb with ing. That's the formation. But what is it used for? Something happening right now. Right this very moment. Right now, I am talking into this quite broken microphone. You are watching this video right now. So we can use it to talk about stuff happening now. We can also use it to talk about something which is kind of temporary. You live in Indonesia. It's your home. Likely you will spend your whole life here. For me, I am here now, but this isn't my home. At some point in my life, I'm going to run away and go back to my own country. So I would say to you, right now I am living in Indonesia. But if the question was asked to you, you would say, I live in Indonesia. Because for you, this is normal. For me, this situation is temporary. We can also use it to make a date. I ask you the question, what are you doing Wednesday night? You think about your schedule on Wednesday. This is the future. And you can say, I'm not doing anything on Wednesday night. Why? Say, well, do you want to go watch a movie? So for making a date or making an arrangement or making a plan for the future schedule, present continuous tense is a very, very useful. But we have to use a time word to indicate it is for the future, or someone's going to think that it's happening right now. For example, someone calls me on the phone and says, where are you? And I say, oh, I'm flying to Jakarta. That gives them the picture of me on a plane right now on the way to Jakarta. But if I say I'm flying to Jakarta tomorrow, then they know what my future activity is going to be, and they know what's going to happen. Okay. Now, there's going to be, no doubt, a little grammar exercise coming along here. So let's take a look. No, that's not it. Yes, here we are. Okay, so I'm going to get you just to write this out by yourself. No help from me. Complete this using present simple or present continuous tense. You have to choose. Now, as pre-intermediate students, you should know this already. So let's hope you do. And then exercise B, complete the job advertisement below using present simple or present continuous tense. So, good luck with that. Or just complete that. Presentations. Lovely. Okay, so we've got a little bit of listening work to do. CD 1, 2, 2. We're going to listen to some presentations. CD 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. And then you're going to make a presentation for me. Now, what you're going to do, and this is very, very nice, is you're going to record yourself. This is an individual task. You're going to record yourself with your phone or webcam if you have a laptop, giving a presentation. And then you're going to upload it to YouTube, and then you're going to share it with the class. You have 1 week to complete this. Now, what presentation are we going to do? The presentation is just a moment. Where I see myself in 10 years. So, this is your presentation. So you're going to give people a little bit of an insight into where you will be in 10 years. Not only location, but what will you be doing? What will be your job? How much money will you be making? You know, a presentation about you imagining yourself in 10 years. Where will you be? What will you be doing? Will you already be married? How far in advance will you be in your career? So this is your presentation, where I see myself in 10 years. Now, how do you do this presentation? Do not make a PowerPoint file. Please. I want you to go to Google Slides. Now, if you are using your laptop, this is already there. If you are not using your laptop, make sure you have downloaded the app. My internet might not be working very well. Okay, so I'm just going to make a quick blank one. Well, actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll show you my son's presentation. He's studying science at school, and he made a little presentation about molecules. Now, the thing to remember about presentations is they call it PowerPoint, not Power Paragraph. Please do not write too many words up on the screen. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. Now then, presentations. Share your PowerPoint. Share your Google slide in the WA group and record yourself just giving the presentation with spoken language. But I want you to organize it into one of these slides as well, so that we can take a look at that while you are speaking. So you don't need to have two computers, because I understand that if you're using your phone, it'll be very difficult to organize this. However, if you're using your laptop, it can be a little bit easier. Anyway, that is the job for next week, and that is the end of our lesson for this particular session. So I want to wish you very good luck. There's some useful language in there too. And that's us finished for this Friday. Have an absolutely lovely day. And remember, if you have any questions, I'm always available in WhatsApp. If I don't answer, it means I'm sleeping or my phone is charging. Never be scared to ask a question. I'll be very, very happy to assist. And that goes for anyone who is looking at the YouTube, even if you're not one of my own students. If you have a question, you can feel free to write it in the comments, and I'll try and check it whenever I can. Okay, thank you very much, and I shall see you next week. Bye-bye now.